Deep in the heart of the Amazon basin, the water is not just a resource, it is a battlefield.
The weak are eaten by the strong. The slow are devoured by the fast. Every ripple on the surface.
In this biological war zone, there is one creature that stands at the very top of the food chain, the caiman.
Yet, amidst this brutality, we witness a scene that defies all logic. A scene that has flooded the internet and baffled millions of observers.
A 100-pound rodent, the capybara, sitting calmly, almost arrogantly, on the head of a living dinosaur.
A moment of interspecies friendship that warms the heart. But do not let the serene expression on the capybara's face fool you.
There is no friendship in the Amazon. There is no mercy in these murky waters.
What you are looking at is not a truce. It is cold, calculated standoff. It is
Why does the trap not snap shut? Why does the monster not swallow the meal sitting right on its nose? Is the capybara toxic? Is the caiman blind?
Or is there a deeper, darker law of nature at play here that we have failed to understand?
Welcome to Animal Ranking Hub. I am here to guide you through the river of monsters. Today, we are not just looking at memes.
By the end of this documentary, you will never look at a capybara the same way again. You will see them for what they truly are.
But before we descend into the depths, make sure you have secured your lifeline. Click that subscribe button and ring the notification bell.
To understand the miracle of their survival, we must first understand the certainty of their potential demise.
Biologically speaking, this creature is a walking paradox. It is the largest rodent on the planet, a title that essentially paints a giant target on its back.
In the wild, rodents exist primarily for one purpose: to convert vegetation into meat for carnivores.
Weighing in at up to 150 pounds, with a barrel-shaped body filled with protein and fat, it is not just a meal, it is a feast.
To the hunters of the Amazon, a capybara is not a neighbor. It is a calorie bomb that can sustain a killer for weeks.
Look at its physique. It has no armor plating like the armadillo. It possesses no venom like the pit viper. It lacks the terrifying claws of the giant anteater.
Its legs are short, designed for wading through mud, not for outrunning a springing jaguar.
Its primary defense mechanism is hiding in the water. But in the Amazon, the water is often more dangerous than the land.
When a capybara dives to escape a terrestrial threat, it is jumping directly into the dining room of the river monsters.
The locals sometimes call it the water pig, and the name is dangerously accurate. Its meat is tender, slow-moving, and abundant.
It is the bread and butter of the South American food chain. The jaguar, the green anaconda, the bushmaster, and the black caiman.
In any other ecosystem, an animal this defenseless would be hunted to extinction or forced to live in deep burrows.
Yet, here they are, out in the open, under the blazing midday sun.
They are the most hunted animal in the jungle, yet they act like they own the place. How is this possible?
How does a creature with zero offensive capabilities survive in a world ruled by teeth and muscle?
To answer that, we have to look at the monster they are sitting on, because the creature you see in those viral photos might not be the killer you think it is.
Here lies the crux of our investigation. The internet looks at a photo and sees a crocodile.
To solve this mystery, we must act like detectives and look closer at the monster in question.
The reptile you see serving as a living taxi for our rodent friend is almost invariably a specific species, the Yacare Caiman.
And in the grand hierarchy of Amazonian predators, the Yacare is not the king. It is merely a middle manager.
Let's look at the biometrics. An adult male Yacare Caiman typically grows to about 6 to 8 feet in length.
Their jaws are designed for a very specific purpose. Look at the snout. It is relatively narrow, filled with needle-like teeth.
These biological tools are perfected for snatching slippery piranhas, crushing freshwater snails, and snapping up aquatic birds.
They are designed for speed and grip, not for the brute force trauma required to subdue a struggling mammal the size of a grown man.
Now, consider the capybara again. We are talking about a solid, muscular creature weighing over 100 pounds. For a Yacare Caiman to attack an adult capybara, it is not hunting, it is entering a brawl.
A thrashing capybara can break a caiman's jaw, claw out an eye, or exhaust the reptile to the point of death.
In the wild, predators are risk-averse. An injury equals infection, and infection equals death.
So the capybara sitting on the Yacare is not an act of friendship. It is an act of arrogance based on physics.
The capybara knows it is simply too big to be an easy meal. It is looking at the caiman and calculating the odds.
It knows that this specific predator is looking for a snack, not a wrestling match.
This is the energy economy of the jungle. The caiman could try, but the caloric cost of the fight outweighs the nutritional gain of the meal.
However, this calculation only works if you identify the reptile correctly.
If a capybara were to make this same assumption with the wrong species, the outcome would be instant and violent.
Because just a few miles downriver, a true monster is lurking in the black water. And it does not care about energy.
But biology is only half the story. To understand this strange alliance, we must look at the battlefield itself.
The Amazon is not a static Eden. It is a violent, shifting landscape, governed by the pulse of the rain. And when the rains stop, the jungle transforms into a crucible. During the dry season, the mighty rivers recede. Endless flooded forests shrink into isolated, stagnant lagoons.
This is nature's pressure cooker. Animals that would normally never interact are forced into claustrophobic proximity.
Predator and prey are crammed into shrinking pools of muddy water, the only respite from the blistering equatorial sun.
In this contracting world, the rules of the hunt change drastically.
This is where we witness the truce of the dry season. For a cold-blooded killer like the caiman, high heat and
Hunting requires an immense expenditure of metabolic energy. If a caiman strikes and misses in the thick mud,
the reptile enters a state of physiological lethargy. It effectively shuts down to wait out the hellish conditions.
for the capybara, the water is not just safety, it is life support.
As semi-aquatic mammals with thick fur and limited sweat glands, they are prone to heat stroke. They must submerge to lower their body temperature.
They are faced with a terrifying choice. Die of heat stroke on the banks, or wade into the mud next to the dinosaurs. They choose the mud.
What looks like a cuddle puddle to the human eye is actually a scene of mutual desperation.
The capybara sits inches from the caiman's jaws, not because they trust the reptile, but because they have read the room.
They sense the caiman's lethargy. They know that right now, the heat is a greater enemy to the crocodile than hunger.
It is an uneasy ceasefire, enforced by the sun. They share the mud because they are both prisoners of the same drought.
But this truce is incredibly fragile. It relies on the caiman remaining in a state of torpor.
It relies on the capybara not triggering the reptile's strike reflex with a sudden, panicked movement.
A beast that brings the darkness with it.
The sun dips below the canopy, and the shadows lengthen across the water.
This is the moment the viral videos do not show you. This is the moment the internet's favorite animal stops being a meme and starts being prey.
Enter the Black Caiman.
If the Yacare is a nuisance, The black caiman is a nightmare, growing up to 20 feet in length and weighing over 1,000.
It is an entirely different class of monster. It is the apex predator of the Amazon, a Gosonon basin.
Its skin is as dark as the midnight water it prowls, making it invisible until it is too late.
Its skull is massive, broad, and reinforced, housing a bite force that rivals the legendary Tyrannosaurus Rex. To a black caiman, the size immunity of the capybara is a joke. That 150 pounds of rodent is...
There is no calculation of energy economy here. There is only the ruthless efficiency.
Imagine the scene. A capybara, emboldened by its earlier interactions with the smaller Yacare, wades into the deeper channel.
It is confident. It assumes the rules of the day still apply. It senses a reptile nearby, but it does not panic.
It has survived 100 encounters like this before. But this shadow is different.
This shadow does not drift. It glides with a terrifying purpose.
The attack, when it comes, is not a fight. It is an execution.
There is no splashing struggle. There is no squeal of protest. The water simply erupts.
The black caiman launches its massive bulk with terrifying speed, clamping jaws like a steel vise around the capybara's torso.
The sheer mechanical pressure pulverizes the rodent's ribcage instantly, collapsing its lungs and stopping its heart before its brain can even register the pain.
Then comes the death roll. The titan spins, dragging the carcass down into the abyss.
The surface of the river churns violently for a few seconds, white foam turning pink, then red, and then silence.
The water settles. The ripples fade. The chillest animal on Earth has vanished without a trace.
This is the reality the photos leave out. The reason you see capybaras sitting on caimans is a frightening case of survivorship bias.
You see the ones sitting on the Yacare because they live to tell the tale. In the true hierarchy of the Amazon, there is no friendship. There are only those who eat and those who are eaten.
So, the water is a death trap. The logical move would be to retreat to the safety of the dry land, right? Wrong. In the Amazon, safety is an illusion. Stepping out of the river doesn't mean escaping danger.
If the black caiman is the king of the depths, the jaguar is the god of the undergrowth. And for a capybara, the jaguar is arguably a worse fate.
Unlike the caiman, which relies on ambush and opportunity, the jaguar is an active, intelligent hunter that patrols the riverbanks.
And it possesses a weapon unique among big cats. While lions and tigers suffocate their prey by clamping the throat,
it bites directly through the skull.
Death is instantaneous, but the threat is omnipresent.
And let us not forget the silent assassin of the shallows, the green anaconda.
a serpent capable of growing to 30 feet, perfectly camouflaged in the reeds where capybaras like to sleep.
It strikes without sound, wrapping its coils around the victim with enough force to shatter ribs and stop blood flow in seconds.
This reveals the terrifying reality of the capybara's existence. They are living in a permanent state of checkmate.
They are caught in a perpetual, high-stakes toggle.
When the jaguar stalks the bank, the capybara must dive into the barrier.
They are constantly oscillating between two zones of absolute terror.
This is why they cluster together. This is why they are hyper-alert.
And this is why they tolerate the Yacare Caiman. In a world where everything wants to kill you, a small crocodile that is too lazy to bite you.
They use the Yacare Caiman as a buffer, a raft, and a sentinel. It is a desperate strategy born from a lack of options.
To be a capybara is to live on the razor's edge. every single minute of every single day. So, we return to the image that started it all, the capybara sitting on the Caiman.
Now, when you look at that picture, I hope you no longer see a funny internet meme. I hope you see it for what it truly is.
A snapshot of a creature living on the absolute razor's edge of survival.
The capybara is not chill because it is stupid. It is not friendly because it is naive. It is calm because panic is a death sentence.
In the Amazon, running triggers the chase instinct. Splashing invites the ambush.
The capybara has weaponized indifference. It has learned that the only way to survive among monsters is to suppress the urge to flee.
Still, to look the killer in the eye and bet its life on the fact that it is too big, the sun is too hot, or the reptile is the wrong species.
Avnums. They are the ultimate gamblers of the animal kingdom. Every drink of water, every nap in the mud, every step they take.
And in the Amazon, the house almost always wins. But somehow, against all odds, the capybara keeps playing.
They are not just giant rats. They are the audacious survivors of the most hostile environment on Earth. They walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and they fear no evil, because they have calculated exactly how big the evil is.
Nature is full of lies. Things are rarely what they seem on the surface. To find the truth, you have to look deeper into the murky water.
This is Animal Ranking Hub, where we expose the brutal reality behind the wildlife you thought you knew.
If you want to survive the next expedition, make sure you are subscribed. Click that button, turn on notifications, and join us next time.
Because in the wild, knowledge is the only thing that keeps you off the menu.